Hey Wargamers, since Warhammer Fest we have been in the full fervor of 10th edition previews, and of course that has me wondering, when are we going to get more information about Tau? When is their faction focus coming out? When is their Codex coming out? And of course, when are all those other faction focuses and codices coming out for other factions too? Now, Games Workshop has given us a lot of information about this, and some of it has been more direct than others. So a while ago, this image popped up from Warhammer Fest showing a bunch of different codices, a bunch of different factions, and it told us a bunch of things about how the how 10th edition rollout is going to work, which was pretty cool, right? So you have Space Marines, Tyranids, Chaos Space Marines at the beginning of this image, and then it goes through a whole bunch of other ones. You can see Tau down in the bottom left-hand corner. And so having this image here does tell us a few things about what's happening. Of course, it says that our major factions are remaining intact. It doesn't look like there's any merging of factions, in particular things like Blood Angels, Space Wolves, right? Those non-Codex compliant Space Marine chapters are still standing on their own, presumably getting their own Codex as well as their own faction preview, so not being merged into a single book or anything like that. But on top of that, it seemed like perhaps this image was giving us a roadmap for when the different faction focuses were going to be coming out. Because we started with Space Marines, we had Tyranids, we have Chaos Space Marines earlier this week. And so if we extrapolate that, assuming that we're getting previews on a few days a week, not Fridays, because oftentimes Fridays don't have that type of preview, we get a schedule like this. And of course, this is something that was created by folks on the internet, not me. And so the dating convention is day then month, in case you're wondering. So based on that, we would extrapolate that we would see a Tau preview on the 30th of May, which is really soon, not soon enough, really exciting, and gives us like a little bit of an idea of when things are going to be coming out. But that's not actually what's happening, right? So today we're getting the Necron preview, which is not the fourth image in that series. It should be Blood Angels, according to that image. So Necrons totally wrecks this this idea that maybe this image gives us a roadmap for the previews. So that means that Tau could come any day. It's not necessarily coming on May 30th. It could be coming on a Friday. It could be coming on a Tuesday. Who knows? We just have to wait and see. The faction of abundance too doesn't suggest that there is a pattern to this, right? So we have Space Marines, then Tyranids, then Chaos Space Marines, then Necrons. So we have Imperium, then Xenos, then Chaos, then Xenos. We'd run out of Xenos if we kept this pattern going, right? If we kept doing like basically Marines, then Xenos alternating, we'd run out of Xenos too fast. So so it seems like they're just going in some order that they decided, and not necessarily one that we can predict. So that's unfortunate, because I really was hoping that I could plan around when the faction focus was going to be coming out and have a nice lead up to it, because I really am excited to learn about it. But of course, that's not the case. So we'll have to just fly blind a little bit here. They also gave us a Codex roadmap, which super useful. I love it when they do this, because they give us a timeline. They give us something to really stick to for expectations. And when we're going into a new edition like this, having the reassurance about what's happening is really important. So they give us this roadmap. A little surprising on the cadence of releases at the beginning here. So they say this summer we're going to get new edition. In fall, we'll get Tyranids and Space Marines, as we would expect, being the poster children for the edition. Then in winter, we're getting Necrons, which again, we're getting previewed earlier here, and AdMech, which was a little surprising. AdMech again thrown in there right away. And then spring is Dark Angels, Orcs, Custodes, Tau, and Chaos Space Marines. So we have a much denser release schedule in the spring compared to the fall or winter. And that's exciting on its own. We know that the Tau are coming in the spring. That means we don't have too long to wait. Tau have been released in May several times in the past. And so spring of 24 fits with that. I don't know if they have a thing about May being for Tau, but maybe they do. And if that's true, then it would be a little bit more than 2 years since our last Codex release, and that's a pretty reasonable duration for that book. It's certainly better than, like the Guard players are getting with their book. So I'm happy with that purchase, having that book last that long. The actual release cadence here, though, of having 2 codices in autumn, 2 codices in winter, and then 5 in spring, probably averages out to a little less than 1 per month to a little bit more than 1 per month. So in the spring we're going to probably have 1 codex in the beginning of the month and 1 at the end of the month type of deal. Or roughly 2 weeks apart, which will be nice, and a good cadence, kind of more similar to what we saw at the beginning of 8th edition than what we saw than what we're seeing at the beginning of this roadmap here. So that's all really exciting. The fact that Chaos Space Marines previewed before AdMech, though, does suggest that the faction focus for any of these armies is not following this roadmap either. So we really don't know when anything is going to happen other than this roadmap. That is all we can stick to. Either way, it's really exciting, and I can't wait to learn more about 10th edition, especially our good friends, the Tau. I'll have a video coming out about my predictions for what things they will talk about in that coming soon. So thanks for watching, and as always, happy wargaming.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you want to pick up one of the Invasive Wargaming models before they become unavailable, head on over to the Invasive Wargaming Etsy store in the description below. Also, if you like this video, you should know that it is made possible by my kind sponsor, the Magnet Baron, as well as the excellent folks over on Patreon. If you want to support the channel, you can certainly hop on over there and join our community. Special thanks to Shifty, Durza, Everett Keller, Stephen Cowan, Jack Inacker, Jared Egler, and Scott Heater.